Konnichiwa, my name is Logan Charles Luna, and this video is going to be about Haikyuu. More specifically, it's going to be about how I think Karasuno should have moved on to the finals in their first tournament, and then they should have lost to Shiro Torizawa. And in the background, I'm going to be doing some fan art of Kanoka Amanai. So, first and foremost, Karasuno was built up to take on all challengers in the tournament the first time around. And I feel like it was definitely a cop-out that Karasuno lost to Obajosai, only for Obajosai to get demolished in the tournament finals like they do every year. And I felt like it would have been a real change of pace in that arc if Karasuno barely squeaked by a win Obajosai. And after that, because Oikawa has a whole rivalry going on with Kageyama, he gives him a word of advice. And he says something like, you thought we were bad, just wait till you go up against Shiro Torizawa. And Karasuno gets really high on themselves. Coach Yukai tries to keep them grounded by letting them know that, they barely squeaked by on that win. And that Oikawa definitely has a point in the fact that it's only going to be more difficult now that they are going up against the defending champions. And Shiro Torizawa was built up to be the final boss, the big battle that Karasuno was going to have in the tournament. And doing a fake out and having them lose to Obajosai, when even in the game itself, they defeated themselves, which I feel is something that happens a lot in manga and anime. And I just refer to it as getting Rock Lead, because Rock Lee during the Chunin exam arc definitely had the upper hand on Gaara. Gaara was totally going to lose that fight he had with Rock Lee, until Gaara got mad, he hulked out and won, even though by the very rules of the Chunin exam, Gaara wasn't even really defending himself. Alright, so if it was an MMA match and you see a guy just getting wailed on in the ground and pound position, that guy totally lost the fight. The ref is supposed to stop the match, but for whatever reason, I guess Gaara's pull as the son of the leader of the Hidden Sand village really influenced that outcome. And Karasuno went through something similar, because Karasuno, yes, they had weaknesses. This is a sports anime where the main team is going to be the underdog, unless it's Ace of the Diamond, where, they're never the underdog, really. But I felt like Obajosai didn't earn that win. Obajosai and Oikawa should have definitely lost and have been the peak to what Karasuno could achieve at that point. And then Karasuno takes Obajosai's spot. They get demolished by Shiro Torizawa. And I feel like that would have made the scene or the panel, if you read the manga, where they're defeated at the restaurant, they go to eat after the tournament, and the coach gives them the speech about, you repair your muscle fibers by eating, you restore all that lost energy you spent today. And, he gave them hope that, there's still a window of opportunity. They could still go to, I think it's the spring tournament, and they could still, go to nationals and regain the honor of Karasuno. Definitely the dumpster match that was set up in that season or in that arc, it was kind of like the end game for Haikyuu in general, where it's like this match between these two teams. That's the match everybody wants to see. It's the match everyone needs to get. And definitely having gone up against Shiro Torizawa would have humbled Karasuno a lot, because then they would think, this is just the best team in our prefecture. Imagine all the other teams in Japan. How are we going to stand up to them if we couldn't take on Shiro Torizawa? And definitely it would have given more weight to just how much of a monster Yoshijima is. And they would have had firsthand experience with dealing with Yoshijima and just how suffocating it is playing up against him. Especially with the monstrous service ace he always dishes out in every game. And it would have given them, I think, more of a drive and more of a sense to achieve a higher level in the training camp. Definitely in the training camp, there should have been more focus on players that weren't the main characters. Like, I know in the training camp there was a focus on Tsukishima and Yamaguchi to build upon what would come on in the next tournament. However, once again, I felt just kind of uninterested in the team building and going up against Oba Josai and having Oba Josai feel like this huge obstacle they can't overcome. Even though Oikawa straight up admits in front of them that they won only because Karasuno had a bad day. They only won because Karasuno just didn't have enough experience as a team. And very much in the next tournament, Oikawa realizes that, and now that they have more experience playing as a team, now that they've got some new weapons, he decides to bring in a secret weapon of his own, which would be Mad Dog. And again, Mad Dog would have made more sense if Oikawa had lost against Karasuno and Oba Josai needed some more firepower. Because Oba Josai was built up like a solid team, although the only real threat on Oba Josai was and ever will be Oikawa. Oikawa makes Oba Josai a stronger team. Oikawa made Oba Josai work. And Tobio and Oikawa's rivalry should have been pushed to another level, with Oikawa realizing that it's not just him, but pretty much anyone that goes up against Shiro Torizawa and that team and Yoshijima, they're going to face the wall. And not like the iron wall like Dateko, but, you know, an obstacle that just can't be surpassed. And definitely in the anime, there was symbolism of them going up against a mountain with Shiro Torizawa. And sometimes I just like space out and don't talk and I focus on the drawing. And usually when I draw, I listen to music or a podcast or a TV show in the background. But can't really do that on YouTube because, you know, I don't want my channel taken down by copyright or anything like that. So on the bright side, you get some nice ASMR of me drawing when I'm not talking about how frustrating it was to see just this team that was very undeserving of a win just luck out, because Haikyuu at that point was really skill based. It's this team won because they were the better team. And then the fact that Oikawa just had to have another loss to Shiro Torizawa, and he had to lose to Yoshijima just one more time. That was really annoying. And I feel like Karasuno should have definitely gone past Obajosai and really experienced the high level of quality that is to be in the Nationals by just getting stomped out the first time, going up against Shiro Torizawa, then coming back for the next tournament and somewhat redeeming themselves and pushing past the point to really show that this Karasuno will go to the top and this Karasuno will persevere. One of the other things is definitely that the ace didn't really have a lot of shine to him in that arc and in that game against Obajosai. I felt like Asahi got rock lead most than any of the other characters, because Asahi had his moment after Dateko, and then that was it. Asahi just never really felt like he was the ace anymore. If anything, you can make the argument that Hinata and Kageyama definitely eclipsed him in the position of being the ace now. And even Tanaka, who is set up to be the replacement of Asahi once Asahi leaves the team, Tanaka really came into his own and learned and evolved a lot. So just to finish up, definitely I would have been more interested in the journey of Karasuno if they had gone past Obajosai the first time and, to use a wrestling term, gotten completely squashed by Shiro Torizawa. You know, it would humble them, it would let them know that Nationals is a whole nother level to what the prefectures can offer. And it would definitely let them understand that they need to become better individual players and work better as a team, because Shiro Torizawa had this old school balance of they're a solid team, but what makes them unstoppable is that they rely on the perfect ace, which of course is Yoshijima. Alright, I'm going to end the video right there. If you want to watch the finished version of this fan art, follow my social media at both Twitter and Instagram, LCLX25. Also, if you want to support my art, please do consider becoming a Patreon member. And there's going to be a link in the bio to join the Patreon. Right now, I'm on day 13 of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure 31-day art challenge for October. In the morning, I posted a day 12 artwork that I completed, and the prompt for day 12 was an AU part, which is like alternate universe. You know, anyone who's done manga, anime, or any other kind of writing thing knows what AU means, but just to explain it further. And right now I'm just working on day 13. Sometimes I do thumbnails and I just work stuff out to really get the idea going for the prompt. And I never finish them like a day early. I always finish them like 20-40 minutes before I post them, honestly. So this has been Logan Charles Luna. This was my meaningless rant about Haikyuu. Sayonara.